Hey, hello to our commercial building owners and developers out there listening in today. We are here with Brad Hollett of ACT Architects and Accelerated Contractors. He's the Butler builder for all of North Florida. Brad, what kinds of different looks have you been putting on your pre-engineered metal buildings, also known as PMNBs? What have you been doing lately, these?
Well, we got lots of really, really interesting things. Like you can see this big panel up here. These are insulated, foam insulated panels. We use these a lot. They're about 4 feet wide. If you get them 50 feet tall, you can make them look like tilt wall. It would convince people like the International Golf Hall of Fame that just is tilt wall. But they interlock like this when you're ready to use them. We put a bead of caulk there and a bead of caulk here, and then we just slide them together. But the interesting part about these, you get them up to R50. Two guys don't pick it up 50 foot long off a tractor trailer, walk it over, stand it up against the wall of the building, and there's no exterior fasteners. There's a guy inside who has metal buildings are made out of purlins like this. They run sideways in wall girts. And of course, they have a screw hole inside. So the inside of the building, we just put a pop rivet inside there. So they look like these pop rivets that we're showing here on this sheet down at the end. Big commercial pop rivets. And you just pop rivet these panels right onto your building. That way you don't have any exterior fasteners. And the inside's all slick, pretty white, germ resistant, whatever. So you can have a nice gem or anything you would like to have a beautiful building that you don't see that fiberglass insulation in. It makes it really, really airtight. But other things that we're doing is we're putting PVC wood lap siding type products. We're putting them, many different ones of them. We sometimes turn them vertical so that we can make really interesting designs. And then there's also other types of less expensive foam panels where we've got a foam back metal panel, so it's a little more rigid. And they make them in many different styles. I personally kind of like this style here. So of course it would repeat over and over. We can run them horizontally. It can repeat like this. We also have them where we can make them look like aluminum panels. You've probably seen those this one. You've probably seen those on the outside of, movie theaters and things like that, where, you've got these metal panels that go up on a building that end up looking, we get them painted glossy red or blue or things like that. Makes them really pretty interesting styles. So there's lots of different things. You can also put these on your building as wall panel. They interlock to each other, so they're a stand and seam type of wall panel. And they make it where you don't have any fasteners on the outside of your building. So you also use this as a roofing product if you would like. It's architectural type stand and seam. So of course, you would run a tractor on this seam so that it folds and locks down and put it on your roof. So this would just be a single seam, a single seam, a single seam when you're done. But on your wall, you don't need to do that. It just looks pretty just like that. Is this something interesting? So there would be a clip behind this that would get folded into this and it would be fastened to the building. So you wouldn't have any screws or anything like that. Pretty interesting stuff, very inexpensive. So this panel compared to the old panels that everybody saw on their metal buildings for hundreds of years, this panel that goes up on the outside of every metal building you ever seen, all of these products can replace that at somewhere between an extra $1 per square foot to $2 or $3 per square foot. And, you can get something that looks much, much, much better. So we'll flash a couple of pictures onto the screen of some of the buildings we've recently built. And, yes, lots of metal buildings from 7 feet, 8 feet down to the ground. We've been putting this stone on. We put bricks directly applied right to the buildings. Very inexpensive. We put a little flashing here at the top so they look correct. But, you can bring it down. Total cost to put this on a building is about $7 a square foot. So very inexpensive to have a really classy looking building. We'll shoot up some pictures of some of our stuff. So lots and lots of different ways to get you looking a lot more professional while saving all the costs of a conventional building and going with a
I was going to ask you
metal
about
building.
the cost of those things. So they look like they're beautiful wall systems when you get them done. And it sounds like they are fairly inexpensive. Can you go over the pricing again? Because I want to make sure that
Well,
I heard that right.
let's say that we were talking about $4 million, 35,000 square foot building. Maybe you're housing a baseball training school or something like that inside the building. To put 4 foot of brick all the way around the whole entire building, that's about 1,000 running feet of brick, 4 foot high. You're probably going to run about $65,000 total cost. So on $4
That's
million,
$4 million.
65,000 ends up being somewhere around 0.061%, something like that. It's pretty damn
Okay.
low.
Outstanding. Now, also, I heard that you're using ICF to skin these buildings. So
Yeah,
how do you
so
finish
this-
the outside of these Butler PMB buildings?
Yeah, so we can put the ICF block with it. You get to an R56. You can put any of the finishes screwed right onto the surface here. There's every 6 inches, this is connected to a furring strip that runs up both sides. So we can just apply a lot of the stones and tiles. Some of the stones have screws tabs running all the way across the top, and you just screw them right on the wall and rock and roll. You can tile a whole building in a day with a couple of guys. Not too bad. You'd also just apply a wood regular thin set. Well, right now we're making a pickleball court. It's 25,000 square feet. Clearly, it's fully air conditioned. It's indoor, really super high end, great floor coatings. And it's right here in Ponte Vedra. It's on the same street with the International Golf Hall of Fame, just a couple blocks down the road. And so it is world-class facility. And we spray foamed all the walls, all the ceilings, everything, 2.5 inches of fire-coated spray foam. And then what we did was we came and went up 8 feet with black Lexan panels. These are plastic with an aluminum coating, and they're very flexible. And so metal building framing is at 4 feet in the ground and 8 feet, 7 feet, 6, something like that. And, it continues up. So we just stood these up all the way down. And then that way, when you run into the wall, it bounces you off instead of breaking you. And they're really, really, really glossy, beautiful panels. They come in every color in the book. We can get yellow or blue or wood grain. You want a library that you can play tennis in? Great. You want regular aluminum? You want white? You want red? And these end up costing about $5 a square foot, completely installed. So the whole inside up to 8 feet is just this plastic glossy surface. It's absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, the spray foam glues the whole building together, so it's way more hurricane proof. And there is not one speck of air getting out of there. As a matter of fact, nowadays in the air conditioning system, we have to bring in a lot of outside air in order to keep the indoor air quality up to what it is. We had to put a relief valve that goes over to the other building, that's the restaurant. So we put a big pipe that went down. It takes empty air that's coming from outside being overpressurized. It would blow the doors open in the building, where you got this 12-inch PVC pipe that takes that air, takes it outside 30 feet over to the other building and brings it up in one of the closets, and it feeds where the hoods are with this clean, dried air, so the cook's not getting too hot, rather than just let it go and blow outside. Because we'd have blown the doors wide open on the building the minute the air conditioner came on. It's putting like 1,700 cubic feet of fresh air into this building every second. And so, it's way too much air. And so will not leak.
I was going to say, on your air conditioning, the cost of air conditioning with these buildings that you put up, does it help it, hinder it? What are you experiencing in terms of your cost of air conditioning and heating with these buildings that you put up? Does it help it, hinder it? What are you experiencing in terms of your cost?
The first thing is my customers buy half the air conditioners that everybody else has to buy to cool the same building with fiberglass insulation. So buy half the air conditioning when the air conditioning required for the building was 100 tons, but you only bought 50 tons. And, just take that $200,000 you didn't spend in air conditioning day one and call yourself a winner, because the insulation was cheaper than that, by the way. And then the long-term cost, this 25,000 square foot building, when completed, people in there playing tennis 15, 16 hours a day. Their cost of power on this building is going to be about $500 a month. Total cost all in, cell phone charging, air conditioning, lighting, the whole deal.
Well, that ought to get some prospective building owners to pay attention, because those operating costs are phenomenal.
If it doesn't get them to pay attention, they need to call their accountant. He will pay attention. It's always a bean counter, but this time he'd be right.
Well, let's help them. They could probably also call or contact you. I know you guys are available at your website is acceleratedcontractors.com. If they send you an email, which is information@acceleratedcontractors.com, you or your staff, somebody will get back to them and answer their questions personally.
Yes. I also own ACT Architects. And so you can go to actarchitects.com. You can send to info@ACT Architects or call its phone number. We're always responsive to clients. And I guarantee you'll have a much better time coming in here in this beautiful showroom, getting to look at all our carpets and floor finishes and everything else, rather than spending some time at the bean counter's office. Probably looks like the IRS. Probably better here.
All right. Hey, thanks, Brad. Appreciate chatting with you today. So right now, I want to remind everybody, go visit Brad's website. Send him an email. Maybe go visit him personally. He's got what you need. So that's about it for now. I'm Coach Gary. Thanks for stopping by, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Gary.